Hey everybody, this is Tyler Grant with Frazer Students, and you're watching Hot Takes, the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. Today I'm joined by some of your Frazer Students leaders as our guests. To my right, my beautiful wife, Elizabeth Grant.
Hey.
To my left, right here, gone but not forgotten, our teaching pastor, Brandon Dassinger.
Hey guys.
And over here, the faithful 6th grade guys small group leader, Christopher McNeil.
Good afternoon.
Is your actual name Christopher, or are you just
it is.
Chris?
Yes.
Yeah.
Christopher.
Christopher?
I haven't
Love it.
could pronounce it, I guess.
So today we're going to be answering your questions, some of the ones you dropped on our Instagram stories, while eating really hot wings. So the first question for y'all is, are you scared?
I am very scared because I'm scared I'm going to throw up.
I don't have a trash can in here, so that will be a really fun
We're
adventure.
planning.
Go this way.
I don't want it.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
Like that way.
Just run, Elizabeth.
I don't want
He's
it.
telling me to tell you it's got to go to the right.
Have you ever
Yes.
eaten anything this hot?
No.
I don't think so. I will say
Sign up
I
for
can't
this.
prepare
Okay.
because I consumed 2 bananas on the way here.
What does the banana do?
I Googled this morning, not out of fear, just out of
goodness.
preparation, of how to prepare yourself to consume spicy foods.
Okay.
And apparently consuming bananas coats your stomach so that you don't have to... I'm not quite sure exactly what it does here, but
It helps there.
It helps here, you know what I'm saying?
All right, so you're good to go. I'm
good to
not.
go.
We're going to have fun.
That's right.
Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just eat the first wing. It's just going to be the Buffalo Wild Wings mild. So the top
easy
left
sauce.
wing on your plate.
Which one is it?
Top left wing.
No,
guys.
it's the bottom
Yeah,
one.
so-
Let's not confuse it.
I just,
Oh, we're just gonna do it?
just go for it.
No dinking, no sinking?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
We'll do it and on the last one.
I like it.
Yeah, so first question that I have from everybody is you're going to be coming up with a hot take. So the show's called Hot Takes. So what's one hot take that you have? Can be controversial, can be something pretty basic. But what is it? Man, it's hard to talk.
I know.
And
It
eat.
is.
The dry wings.
It was good.
Hot takes. Elizabeth, you
I
said
have
one
a
earlier.
mouthful of wings.
That's
Okay,
part of
I'll
it.
go.
Okay, great.
Who's got a hot take?
My hot take is USC has a better future than Alabama.
That's not a hot take. That's a dumb take.
That's false.
It's just not true.
You don't know. That's my hot take.
Do I? Do I?
That and queso dip is not the best dip.
There you go. That's the one we were all waiting for
That
from
is a
Chris.
hot take.
That's a hot take.
Other hot takes.
I think Snapchat's kind of dumb.
Oh.
Playing off that one. TikTok is just glorified
Oh yeah,
stupid.
I don't even have
It's
one.
glorified stupid.
You know,
It
you
is.
sound like old people right
We
now.
do.
We do. I know.
We
I
do.
know.
I mean, I don't even know what they are.
27.
But y'all sound old.
I know.
Yeah.
So Brandon, what's your hot take?
My hot take is my generation of rappers is much better than the young people's generation of rappers.
The young people.
We
I
had
agree.
we had Notorious B.I.G. We had Tupac.
Mm.
They have a guy from Canada. It's really not even.
And then like
close.
these SoundCloud rappers who are just producing this like
Yeah, they're just mumbling.
Not
auto-tune.
the same.
Yeah.
Auto-tune
I'm
on.
not even sure if that's a hot take. It's just spitting
it's
facts.
facts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
spinning facts because that's what they
It's
did
kinda
with the
like the
records back in the
USC
day.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Goes off.
the first question I have comes from Logan Dean, and she says, "Do you think that Jesus vibed with hot wings?"
But technically, I'm not sure hot wings existed
Yeah.
back in first century Palestine. But if
there
they
wasn't
did,
chicken.
there was chicken. But I don't know if they had hot sauce. I mean,
You think he would have eaten the hottest sauce?
I think
Like
if
a
there was
champ.
hot sauce, I think Jesus would vibe.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
hot wings. I think he was.
with that.
He liked to eat. He was at dinners a lot.
Yeah. And I think he would have felt the pain because he was fully human. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that would have been one of his miracles of like eating 5 ghost peppers and not even feeling a thing.
ooh,
Like, whoa!
When just,
Like this guy's
killing it.
legit.
I love it, love
Yeah.
it. So I'm not feeling anything. So let's go ahead and move on to the second one. This is the classic sauce by First We Feast. So it is going to be the next one on the top. Okay. So this is just the classic sauce.
Classic.
Hold on.
Okay. Well,
How you feeling?
not too hot yet. Not too hot.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
So as we keep going on, what is your most embarrassing moment ever?
I've never done anything embarrassing.
You haven't. You never mess up, Brandon.
Interesting. No.
Perfect.
Well, I'd make up for you.
No.
Because I've embarrassed myself a ton.
How so?
I'd probably say my most embarrassing moment was in front of the whole youth group. Growing up, and I played basketball my whole life,
Baller.
and so I'm used to jumping vertically.
Mm-hmm.
And so a bunch of my buddies were jumping off of the stage in our main sanctuary, and we were jumping over a what's the thing? The table where the preacher preaches.
The
Pulpit.
Pulpit. There it is.
Yeah. Man, learn
Fiberglass
something every day.
pulpit. That thing. Yeah. I go to church. And so they were jumping over it. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna do that too because I'm a guy and I'm cool like that. And so as all of us jumped over, we kind of kept moving it back further away. And my basketball history kind of got the best of me because everyone was jumping out. My natural tendency is to jump up, and so as it kind of progressed out there, I ended up having to jump over the pulpit, and I actually jumped up, and I knew I wasn't going to clear it, and I remember trying to make it as easy as possible to not break this pulpit because it was made out of fiberglass. So I decided that I was going to put my one foot on the top of it and kind of slide off of it. Yeah, I kind of did that, but then as I fell onto the ground, all I heard behind me was this big loud bang, and then the pulpit just shattered, and the whole youth group just watched me, and I got in trouble.
It's the best when it happens at youth group. You just have the people who just love you and point you to Jesus, just
Yeah.
lifting you up, not laughing at you, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Laughing.
that's the unforgivable sin, to break a preacher's pulpit. It's not good. It's in the Bible.
Elizabeth, I need to hear your most embarrassing moment.
So, in 5th grade Sunday school at Ridgecrest Baptist Church.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know.
Shout
We were in Sunday school and it got real quiet, and I bent over to get my Bible, and something bad happened.
Oh no!
Nice.
I tooted, and then I lied about it in Sunday school and said it was my boots.
Dang
Squeak,
boots!
squeak
It
of
was
boots.
so-
Nice
it
lie.
was
I know.
so bad.
The boots.
I don't know if people bought it,
They didn't buy
but
it.
No.
when they see this video, they'll know the truth.
It's really all of 5th grade is embarrassing.
It is.
grade is
It's
always
a
just
weird
rough
time.
time.
It's just added on to it. 5th
Yeah.
and 6th grade. So
Yeah.
tough years.
Yeah.
Brandon?
Yep.
Especially boys, we squeak.
You said you didn't have any embarrassing moments, so...
I mean, a real short one was probably recent when I was doing the announcements for church, and I was supposed to be announcing Pizza with the Pastor. And I said, would y'all like to come to Pastor with the Pizza? Pastor Pizza? And it was so bad, people laughed, and I had to kind of did I just say Pastor Pizza? I just kind of had to own it. So
Yeah.
that one was pretty,
yeah.
that's not horrible, but it was in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit.
Whenever it happens
worse.
on stage in front of... We don't let each other live stuff down.
Oh, yeah. Our Wesley Hall team replayed it.
So everybody put your
You know,
hands.
Put it in slow motion.
Everybody put your hands. Remember when Abby said that?
I like that
yeah.
I
one.
know,
Put
Abby
your
Wilson.
hands.
Shut up. So let's go ahead and move on to the next wing, just because I want to start feeling some burn. This is from First Week Feast as well. It's the Las Calientes sauce.
That sounds fun.
Am I allowed to drink, or is that
Yeah, go for it.
okay.
Oh, I've been
Well, you're more of a man if you don't.
Oh. Well,
Just a good flavor. I'm still not feeling any kick.
okay.
Yeah.
got a little kick.
So, at the current moment, who's your favorite artist and what's your favorite song?
I've been loving Rattle.
About Elevation Worship.
Oh yeah, I know that song.
The whole album. Oh, you need to listen to it if you haven't.
Rattle?
It's a banger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
Just
listen
reminds
to it
me
in the
of,
car on the way to work.
Rattlesnakes.
No, more baby rattles.
Mm.
But, I don't know.
Cool. What's your favorite?
Zach Brown Band is my favorite band. Sorry.
Are you
I'm
serious?
being serious.
Hot
Not
take.
ever.
That's
Not-
a really
okay, wait,
bad
hold on.
take.
No, not
They're
ever.
fine.
Not ever. But it is one of my favorite bands.
Okay.
Favorite song right now is One Man Band for.
Okay.
There you
I
go.
don't know. Just strikes me.
Okay. Brandon.
My favorite artist is Bob Marley. Rest in
Coming
peace.
from the pasta.
Totally makes sense.
He's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. But if a favorite song right now would probably be same Elevation album, Available
Okay.
on that
song.
album.
I feel like
Yep.
a heathen.
Really
Right?
good. In fact, your wife's version of Available is my favorite. She makes Elevation Band
Shout out Helen McNeil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just killed it.
she sings that every night.
Killed it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
that's
that's
nice.
good. I sleep well.
That whole album's awesome though. Graves in the Gardens. That
Yeah,
song
Graves
is
in the Garden. You'll check it
Yeah.
out.
It's a banger.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, so we've been in quarantine for 10 weeks at this point. What you been doing?
Serious?
Yeah, 10 weeks. Maybe even 11. It's what's been one of the most productive, most efficient things you have done with your time, or just something fun?
I remodeled my whole kitchen.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like
Impressive.
everything.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Except for cabinets. I didn't do
Yeah.
cabinets, but new sink, new fridge. Or
Love
no, not new fridge. New dishwasher.
oh,
Yeah. So I've been busy painting. got arthritis now.
Doc, what about you? What about Dr. Dassinger?
Oh yeah, I guess that's I finished my.
I guess that would be one I need.
Yeah. Well, that's right. That's it. I'm good.
He's a doctor now.
Yeah, finished that. That was good. Good to be done.
Pretty big.
This mole on my back. Like, can you
I'm a fake doctor.
One of those,
Can't really help anybody.
Yeah.
And I don't make tons of money.
Elizabeth, I know what you've been doing, but what about everybody else?
I've been doing teletherapy, so little crazy children running back and forth from the computer. It's been my life.
I have read through the first 6 Harry Potter books.
Dude, I'm proud of you.
Look at me.
Oh,
I know. I finished
leader.
6 today.
Wow.
We redid this office, as you can see, watching
It's coming. Yeah, it's looking great.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we've been productive. Yeah.
Man,
I
well,
like it.
Love it. So let's move on to one of my favorite sauces of all time, mango habanero. Chris, if you'll hand me that sauce, I'm gonna actually kind of give it a little bit double dose. If y'all want to add some more on
Are
there.
you really?
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't want
Well,
to.
yours is
Mine is
coated.
saucy.
You want some?
Yeah,
Mine's pretty
I'm
coated.
good.
Mine's saucy.
I think Chris, is your favorite mango habanero as well?
Yes. Well,
Far left. Make sure you get it on.
The night one. At the time of consumption is my favorite. But afterwards, just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best of you.
It's spicy.
That's a good kick.
It's okay.
We're trying to work into the upper echelon of hotness.
I think there should have been mixed up so you didn't know.
I don't know why.
It would have been so mean.
I feel that one a
That's a
little
good
bit.
one.
So next question,
Craven services.
on the same kind of vibe of quarantine, are we opening anytime soon?
I'm not in charge.
Are we opening?
That's a great question, guys. Check back in a few weeks and we'll see. We really don't have, we're working on it. We're working on a plan for the future, but there is no set date yet that I'm aware of.
No, we're gonna at least wait 2 more weeks and then reevaluate.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yep. So we're still
still waiting.
Yep. So moving on to a pretty spicy question. While we're feeling a little spice in our mouth right now, why is there still suffering, hate, and racism prevalent in the world?
Whoa, we just got deep.
It got deep and it got hot. So
Boom.
why do you think there's still suffering, hate, and racism still prevalent in the world?
I don't know, doctor. Here's what I'll say, and then I'll let him take it.
Yeah.
I would say that it's one word: narcissism.
Okay.
That's what I would say. It's complete selfishness. So it's getting to a place in life where you decide that my life is more important than someone else's, whether that be to emotionally, physically, to where you're not putting others before yourself. I think that would be the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
That's good.
Elizabeth, Brandon?
I would just say, coupled with that, I think to me a big root of evil is insecurity. Is that when we disconnected ourselves from God, we lost our identity in Christ and our being loved by Him and being His child, and as a result, we became insecure. And so, what humans are really good at is putting others down in order to make ourselves feel better, and then we do that as tribes of people, and so that's where you get prejudice and racism. Is there's got to be a good guy and a bad guy, and I've got to demonize you in order to make myself feel good or even to have purpose. And so I think that's a big part of it is we just lack security in our relationship with Christ.
And on that, I'm kind of curious, if you guys, what your take is on this, is that, I feel like the way in which society is, we feed off of negativity. And so when you can create something that's negative, it draws this kind of attention onto yourself, whether it's good or bad, it's attention in itself. And, I think that, like you see in news and social media, where it's just this negative, always negative kind of vibe that constantly goes on, because that's what society is kind of driven into our being to give us some kind of satisfaction. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
Sure. Yeah.
And I think something important too is a lot of people are always think, sorry, it's not even hot yet. Why is God making all these bad things happen? But it's it's not God who's punishing us. It's a sinful world, so we're gonna suffer because of it. God's in the business of redeeming what's bad and bringing it to good. So I think that's something that we need to be reminded of. It's not God punishing the world and making us be evil. It's we have evil nature within us, and God's trying to redeem that and bring it to good. I think that's something that we can be reminded of in the middle of all of it.
And the beauty of the gospel is that nothing is too far to be redeemed, and that God can redeem your suffering when you're going through hard things, and He can turn beauty into ashes, and He can rewrite a story that started bad, and he changes hearts and he changes lives, and so that's the beauty of who he is.
Absolutely.
And the bad thing is being able to like actually be able to tell someone that. Like for them to realize that. Because sometimes we get into these ruts where we're like, that's just who we are now. You know, even though we have the potential and the opportunity to allow Jesus to kind of work in our lives to help us get out of that rut and kind of get to that kind of good place, to where we can do good things for God. And some people just get lost and they kind of get into that valley and they're like, there's no way I can get out.
Yeah. Question. Good answer.
Good question.
Yeah,
That was a good
absolutely.
question.
So moving on, who is your biggest spiritual role model?
I would say for me, that had the most impact in my life was my youth pastor.
Yeah.
Growing up, I mean, this guy was incredible, providing the opportunities and the kind of the stepping stones to get to where I'm at in my faith.
Yeah.
You know, like giving different discipleship to leadership training to kind of mold me into a person that is faithful and has good qualities and kind of furthers the spiritual connection I have with God.
If I'm going someone like who lived a long time ago that's just inspiring, there's a couple. One's Martin Luther King. Just his perseverance in the face of so much obstacles. And then another one's Dorothy Day. Not many people know about her, but she did a lot of work helping the poor and creating communities of hospitality, and just lived a phenomenal life.
Yeah.
Completely surrendered to Christ and helping the least of these. So those would be two people that I didn't know that had an impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely had a couple of great youth pastors.
Yeah, Elizabeth.
I think for sure student pastors, and then also like small group leaders. I had some really good small group leaders, especially as I was like in high school moving toward college, that really poured into my life and like pointed me to Jesus, navigating those really tough decisions. And then my mom too, my parents have been so instrumental in shaping who I am and how I believe, and how I parent Judah now too, and so all those good things. But then I guess somebody that I don't know that like influenced me too is Elizabeth Elliot. I don't know if y'all know her story. It's just the way that she loved people and didn't give up when things got hard. It's just such a good story and such faith. It's awesome. She's really cool.
That makes me feel bad. Shout out to my mom and dad.
Sorry.
Love your parents.
Brent and Jan.
My mom and dad too.
All right, so we're gonna move up to the upper echelon right now. So we got a few more questions. We got 2 more wings.
Oh, no.
So now we're moving on to the blazing Buffalo Wild Wing sauce. Chris, hand me the sauce. I'm gonna go a little more dab.
Let's do it.
You're doing another dab?
I'm gonna do it. Like this is.
Tyler, a little dab will do ya.
Anybody else want another dab?
I don't want a dab.
You know?
Hey, which
Thank
one is
you.
it?
Yeah.
I don't even want to eat it.
Oh, I got okay.
This is blazing. This is the blazing challenge wing at Buffalo Wild Wings.
I don't,
Sink it.
It's.
Dig it. Sink it.
I don't want it.
Love you.
Do I have to do this way?
You signed up for it.
Mine was twice the size as yours.
I had twice the sauce. Not too bad.
Oh.
Enjoyable.
Just come in later.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. I'm
Chris,
just
I think
a
we
slow
broke
burn.
social distancing rules when we just dinked our food together.
Oh,
That's
for
fine.
sure.
In Jesus' name, we should have said.
Amen. Amen. It's a kick back in the throat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of kicks you. If you need more water, we got some over here. So
I haven't touched it at all.
you are the
Let's
real
go.
man here. Does it matter what denominational church you go to when you go to college?
I think
That's like that aftertaste. It's
like it's like burning. I think for me, like when I went to college, the first month I did go to several different churches that I knew were Bible believing, gospel preaching churches, so that I knew that they were going to be the type of churches that I would want to be at. And then after that first month, I knew it was important to not keep church hopping, and so I invested in a small group, and that's where I really like found community. And I think that as long as like they're preaching the gospel and you have community, those are the important things. And so
Sure.
that's what I did.
Yeah, I would just agree with that. Less than the denomination is just, is it teaching scripture? Is there fruit to the ministry? Does it seem authentic? The only thing I would add to that is if particularly if you're a female and you're interested in going into the ministry or being a leader at a certain level, you might have to consider what they allow women to do within that denomination. So
For sure.
there are certain denominations that don't allow women into leadership roles.
Yeah.
And so if you're female and you're really considering that calling, you may want to pick a denomination that would support that role.
Yeah. For sure.
So true.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it.
Yeah. All right, so we're moving on to the last 2 questions.
Okay.
Oh.
We're going on to the last wing.
Oh, before we do the question?
Yeah, absolutely we
Alright,
are.
We're gonna be
Anybody? Banana?
I don't
feel
know.
like it's
I'm
too
gonna
late
eat it
at this
after
point.
this week.
All right, give me the sauce.
Okay, let's do it.
This is the last dab.
You guys
You're
dab.
doing another dab.
It's honorary that you add a little dab to the
you're
last
cutting
dab.
Okay.
I'm going to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, this one is a large wing. I just have a point. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
it's a
Yeah,
large.
mine is a little bit smaller.
Shout out to Lawson
That's a
Brindle earlier who tried some of this and was not feeling good.
Oh boy.
It was a little hot to him.
Oh, was it really?
Was
yeah.
not feeling good?
Just like, it was hurting him.
Do you want to switch? Do you want a smaller one?
No, I feel like I'm committed to this
Oh, okay.
one.
Hurt. Okay.
Well, you're putting more on it, so.
Well, I was gonna do it prior to.
Which one is this?
This is the last dab. It's the Triple X, the hottest sauce.
I wanna, like,
Triple X.
Hey, full wing bite, Chris?
Wait. What?
Wait.
How many?
It's a 10 out of 10. I don't know
What does that mean?
what the Scoville unit is.
Yeah.
Let me read this.
Okay. Wait.
oh.
It says.
Wait. Do we have ambulance here?
It says this.
Ambulance.
This is battery acid. Eat it at your own risk. That's not. That doesn't feel good to me.
What did you eat? Satan's tongue?
Satan's blood.
Satan's blood.
Yeah, there's a hot sauce called Satan's
Alright.
blood.
Blood.
Think it.
Wait.
Dang it.
Thank you.
Think it. Think
Imaginary.
it.
Oh, no.
No. Hold on. You guys could go. You gotta make this thing worth it. I dropped some hot sauce on the table. Oh, boy. Oh wow. That was a lot more than I.
It was a big bite.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for everybody just listening to our mouth noises.
This one's gonna start hurting not in the throat. It'll be in the. It'll be in the esophagus.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm waiting for it.
Oh, I feel it.
I got some mouthfeel.
It's a slow burn.
It's a slow burn. I'm a little sweaty.
That's a good description. It is a slow
It is
burn.
Yeah.
a slow
Like
burn.
the mouth's starting to fill.
Oh,
I think my face is getting red. I feel it.
Yeah. Brandon, aren't you so glad that this is your last week at Frazer and this is what I have you doing?
I'm glad this is my last week at Fraser.
You heard that, everybody.
This is what you'll make me do.
Do I have to eat all of it?
You don't have to.
This is my
Oh,
honor.
great.
So moving on to the last 2 questions. My tongue's a little hurting when you talk.
Tongue's a little numb.
What's the best?
That
It
extra
hurts
dab.
on the tongue. It's on the
It's
tongue.
like
Yeah.
a later burn.
It is.
It is.
What's
coming
the
on.
best
My
way
face
to
is
share
red.
your faith with others?
Oh,
Especially.
Oh no. Feel it more.
I'm good.
What's the best way to share your faith with others, Brandon?
Well, I think first it just starts with. This will be cliche, but it really is. It starts with the way you live, your witness, the way you treat people, your radical kind of life, your generosity. Because if you have that, then it'll naturally come up, and not in a forced way where you're like hitting someone over the head. And people will ask, like, "Hey, why do you do that?
Yeah.
Why do you not do that? Why do you choose not to go to these places? Why do you go to a mission trip?" And then, but when they ask those questions, then be ready to say, "Hey, it's because of my faith and my relationship with Christ, and as I've followed Him, He's led me to this kind of life." And so if you're living it, it'll come up naturally, and you'll get some great opportunities. And then take advantage of those opportunities to really not just say, "Oh, well, it's not a big deal." No, say, "Hey, my relationship with Christ has really changed my life."
I think Brandon answered that one pretty well. Y'all agree?
Sure do.
Yeah, I would say that's the biggest thing.
I'm gonna take this thing. I'm gonna add a little more sauce to it,
Why?
just because give me some blazing.
But you're dying.
I'm making it fun. Last question.
He's
Okay,
gonna have
Enneagram
sinus issues.
7. I'm making it fun.
Why should I follow Jesus now as a teenager
That's too much.
and not later, and not just later on in my life?
Well, the truth is that God will accept you wherever you're at.
Absolutely.
I mean, someone could do something on their deathbed, and God will receive that. There's no doubt about it. What I would say is, you'll just miss out on so much. I mean, I think sometimes the thought process is if I wait to follow Jesus later, I can get to have all this kind of fun, and then just do that 3-line prayer at the end and go to heaven, and still had all the fun. But it's really just the opposite. What you'll do is, if you don't follow Jesus now, you'll live a life where there's a lot of painful consequences, and you'll live a life that's a lot harder than it has to be. On the flip side, also, if you follow Jesus now, you'll get to experience so much more joy, so many more God moments, opportunities to serve, to help. Your relationships will be healthier, and so what I would say is that there will be enormous consequences.
Absolutely.
If you choose that route.
Yeah.
You have that John 10:10 abundant, full life that is promised to us who are following Jesus, and I think that's such an awesome, one of the many reasons to follow Jesus right now. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, I think it's you put yourself.
That really wasn't the weeds; it was the water. Went down the wrong pipe.
No, you're doing great, Chris. Brandon's
That's all right. That's all right.
Now you know how it feels as a preacher when you're preaching. Someone just starts coughing.
That's
or
right.
Baby starts crying.
gosh, babies.
It's the worst.
Even babies.
We all have babies over here.
Babies are the worst.
They are.
No, we love babies. They're great.
Yeah. No, what I was gonna say is it's one of those things where when you start to put yourself into a place where I'm gonna do this later, it's really difficult because you're not guaranteed later.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those, and that's in anything.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I'm gonna fix this relationship later, or I'm gonna do this one thing later. You know, and you put it off and you put it off. It's very fearful in the sense of if you're not guaranteed tomorrow, it's very difficult for you to say I'm going to do it later.
Yeah.
Later may be
Because
too
then-
late.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Can I just say on press time that you haven't drinking anything, you're just talking and like my mouth's on fire.
I'm
It's the
good.
bananas.
Yeah, it's bananas.
Because as we close out, we are going to celebrate with
Chug.
the nectar of the gods
Yeah.
with the chocolate milk.
Wow.
Woo.
So
True move.
yeah, I'm like my tongue is hurting.
The triple X. Gotcha.
That's some good
Well,
stuff
you
right
made
there.
it more fun
I did.
by doing
Near
those
gram
extra
7.
drops.
You were.
Oh, that is good though.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good true move.
Barbers.
Well, guys, thanks for joining in for Hot Takes. If you need anything, we're here.
You're really good at these.
See y'all.